Long ago, when the stars still whispered to mortals and the forest stretched unbroken from the Black Sea to the Carpathians, the Dacians were a fierce and free people. They lived in mountain citadels and deep forest glades. Their warriors feared, their priests revered. They sang to the gods in thunder and silence, and chief among their whispered names was Zalmoxis, lord of immortality. But there was another, less spoken, more feared, and more beloved in the night. Her name was Kotys. Chapter 1. The Goddess in Shadow. Kotys was not like the sky gods or storm gods. She did not ride chariots of fire or speak through thunder. She moved like wind through leaves, her footsteps unheard, her presence known only by the sudden cry of an owl or the curling of mist in moonlight. To some she was the goddess of the wild hunt, of midnight rites, of sacred madness and the whispering dark. Her rites were secret, held in hidden groves where only women could walk, and only the initiated could survive. To others she was a lover of the moon, protector of sacred femininity, bringer of visions and ecstasies. And to the Dacians, who knew the wild hills better than any, she was a being to be honored and feared, not because she was cruel, but because she was true. Chapter 1. The Goddess in Shadow. Chapter 2. The Calling of Iana. In the village of Dausdava, nestled between cliffs and pines, a girl named Iana was born beneath a rare lunar eclipse. The midwife, a bent and silent woman with eyes too sharp for age, claimed she had felt the breath of Kotys that night. "She is marked," the old woman whispered. "The Moon Mother will call her one day." Iana grew swift and wild. While other girls learned to weave and heal, she climbed rocks barefoot and danced with wolves. Her father, a Dacian chieftain, often muttered that she should have been born a hawk. But her mother, wise and quiet, only smiled. On her 16th summer, during the festival of Bendis, the Dacians sang and drank under a full moon. That night, Iana wandered from the fire into the forest. Drawn by an unseen thread, she found herself before a grove of black ash trees, bathed in silver light. There, standing in a ring of moss, were 9 women with painted faces and bare feet. They wore robes made of moon-colored silk, and at their center stood a figure that made the stars dim with jealousy. Kotys. Her eyes were like polished obsidian. Her hair flowed like night itself. Around her head was a crown of bone and ivy, and she held a dagger shaped like a crescent. "You have come, Iana," she said. Her voice was neither loud nor soft. It simply was, as if it had always been in the forest. "I didn't mean to," Iana said, heart pounding. "Yet here you are," Kotys smiled. "The moon does not ask permission before rising." Chapter 3. The Rite of the Crescent. Kotys led Iana into the sacred circle, and the 9 priestesses began to chant. Words older than the Dacians echoed in the air, words of blood, stone, river, and root. Iana felt herself rising from the earth, her spirit burning with a light she did not understand. She was shown visions. A stag pierced by arrows, weeping beneath the stars. A crown of gold buried beneath an oak. A Roman eagle torn by crows, and a silver-faced goddess dancing on a battlefield soaked in fire. When she awoke, Iana bore the mark of Kotys upon her shoulder, a crescent moon with a jagged edge. She had been chosen. But with power came duty. Chapter 4. The Storm over Dacia. In those days, the threat of Rome was no longer a shadow, but a storm on the horizon. Word came that legions were marching east, seeking the gold of Dacia and the strength of its mountains. King Decebalus prepared for war, but his seers were troubled. The omens were twisted. Zalmoxis gave no answers. Desperate, the king summoned the priestesses of Kotys. They came from caves, cliffs, and hidden valleys. Pale, silent, terrible in their calm. Iana stood among them now, no longer the wild girl of Dausdava, but a moon daughter, eyes shining with silver fire. Decebalus asked them for victory. Kotys gave him a warning. "Your swords are sharp, but your pride is dull. You seek to defend Dacia, but you have forgotten the old ways. Offer not blood to Rome, offer soul to the land. Only then shall the mountain shield you." The king scoffed. What use is riddled prophecy in war? But Iana stepped forward. She means that we must fight not as men, but as spirits. Let the land rise with us. Let the sky scream with us. Discibolus, despite his skepticism, agreed. The priestesses would go with the warriors, not to wield blades, but to call the goddess. Chapter 5. The Battle at the Silver Crag. When the Roman legions reached the Silver Crag, they expected an easy campaign. Instead, they found mist, drums, and the eerie wailing of women echoing from the cliffs. Iana led the priestesses in a moonlit dance before battle, their cries echoing like wolves. The Dacians, heartened by the wild ritual, charged like men possessed. Kotys herself was said to walk among them, a pale figure with fire in her hair, whispering madness into Roman ears. Some Roman soldiers dropped their shields and ran into the woods, screaming of visions. Others fought blindly, as if shadows pulled their swords. The Dacians won that battle, not by numbers, but by spirit. The land had risen with them, just as Kotys had promised. Chapter 6. Blood and Echoes. Victory came, but at a cost. Kotys's power was primal. It did not obey laws of kings or temples. Her gift was vision, but also chaos. Over time, some warriors became too enthralled by the madness she offered. Some sought her not for strength, but for ecstasy. Secret cults sprang up in hidden places, dancing till dawn, whispering in tongues. The line between worship and obsession blurred. Iana saw this and wept. She had given her soul to the goddess, but now the fire she had lit was burning out of control. So she climbed the sacred peak of Kogaianon, where once Zalmoxis was said to have vanished into the earth. There, under a new moon, she called to Kotys. Mother of shadows, I ask not for more power, but for balance. Let your fire be tempered. Let your wildness not consume the roots that feed it. Kotys appeared one last time. Child of the Crescent, I give you a final gift. From her robe, she drew a mirror of obsidian, framed in silver vine. Place this in the sacred cave. Let it reflect only those who seek truth, not madness. Let it show their soul, and they shall decide. Iana obeyed, and thus was born the mirror rite, practiced in secret by Dacian priestesses for centuries. It separated the seekers from the fanatics, the worthy from the lost. Chapter 7. Legacy of the Moon. When Rome finally conquered Dacia under Emperor Trajan, the temples of Zalmoxis were razed. The priesthoods were disbanded, but the cult of Kotys could not be found. They had never built temples. Their shrines were in trees, streams, and dreams. The worship went underground, passed from mother to daughter, hidden in lullabies and moonlit dances. Some say that Iana was killed in the final siege. Others say she vanished into the hills, her body merging with mist, her spirit becoming part of the goddess she had loved. And on certain nights, when the moon is new and the wind carries the scent of ash trees, the daughters of Kotys still dance. Their eyes flash silver, and their voices sing in the old tongue. We are the wild, the forgotten. We are the crescent and the claw. We walk between fear and freedom, and the Moon Mother sees us all. To this day, the legend of Kotys lingers in Romanian folklore. Though Christianity swept through the Carpathians, old songs and customs remain. Some still leave offerings on moonless nights. Some still speak of a woman in white who dances on the edge of battlefields and dreams. Perhaps she was a goddess, perhaps a spirit. Or perhaps she was simply the voice of the wild, the untamed heart of a people who refused to be broken. Kotys, queen of the hidden moon, still walks in silence. Thank you for watching.